Hi, welcome to learnhowtogarden.com. On today's episode of the 10-Minute Gardener, we're going to be talking about growing one of the most common herbs from Southeast Asia, and that's Vietnamese coriander. If you're not already subscribed to me at Learn How to Garden, there's a link straight below this film. Click on that, input your email address, and it means every single time we put up a new film, it lets you know. It also means you get access to our free monthly newsletter. Asian food is so popular, and for a lot of us we think it's impossible to grow a lot of the ingredients. And there's a film that we did a few months ago about growing kaffir lime, which is one of the real constituents of Thai food. You can grow ginger, you can quite easily grow lemongrass, but the most simple of all of these things to grow is this plant. Now, this is known as Vietnamese coriander, sometimes called Vietnamese mint, Rau Ram, it's referred to in Thailand. But in fact it's Persicaria odorata, and it's actually none of those. It's not a coriander, it's not a mint, it's a pinkweed, so it's an entirely separate family. And it originally doesn't even come from Asia, it comes from the West Indies, but it is one of the main constituents in a lot of Asian food. And it has that fantastic coriander taste, but with a real lemon zing at the end of it, a real lemon kick. And all of us can grow this. You can buy it as plants, and they'll come slightly smaller than this in a pot, but once you've got it, you can either take cuttings or you can split this in the autumn. It's got quite a fine root system, and if it's happy, it'll grow quite quickly. I mean, this is one that we've had in this little grow bag, which is a pure coir grow bag, so you can grow it in quite a small space. It'll grow on a balcony quite easily, and because it's a perennial, you can bring it into the kitchen in the winter. What you have to remember is it's a tropical plant. It'll grow in the subtropics. It's quite happy in sort of European conditions, North American conditions in the summer, but it's a minimum of 7 degrees. Less than 7 degrees, it'll start to sulk, it'll rot off the roots and die. I think the best way to grow this is in a largish terracotta pot. Doesn't have to be anything special. It's one of my favourite old ones. It's even got a break on it. A single crock. Remember, you don't crock pots a lot. And then the compost we're using here is a mixture of some compost out of our compost bin, and what I'm using is a compost based on wool and bracken, but you could use a multi-purpose instead of these two. And we're going to add about 1/3 perlite because we want a really free draining compost. We want a compost that drains well but is also water retentive, because that's what this plant gets in the tropics. So it doesn't want to dry out, likes full sun. So if you've got a conservatory or a greenhouse, it will absolutely love it. Into this largish pot. And one of the things with all herbs is, once we've got it in here, and the easiest way is to take the pot, sit the pot into here, put your compost around it, and then we just take the plant itself and pop it in. And that's going to be a bit low. You want it about 1 inch below the top of the pot, about 1 inch below the top of the pot, so that when you water it quite well, and then you leave it to dry so that it's touch dry before you water it again. Once you've potted it on, give it a good watering, and as I said, wait till it's touch dry on the surface before watering it again. The one we've got here is a slightly bushier plant, because when you use it, if you pinch out the tips, it will cause it to be much bushier. In its native habitat, this can grow 2 to 3 feet tall, easily 2 feet 45 centimetres across. It's best added at the end of a dish, so at the end of your noodles, pop it in then. It's fantastic for flavouring couscous. I really like it in a salad. It gives you that lemony coriander zing that we just don't get from our normal herbs, and it goes into that great sort of lemongrass, kaffir lime, ginger, galangal, that whole sort of family of flavours that really take you back to Southeast Asia. Very easy as long as you follow the requirements of above 7 degrees, quite a lot of sun. Don't overfeed it. Overfeeding it just gives you a lot of growth. And the thing with all herbs is if you overfeed them, you reduce the taste. So if you grow it quite hard, which means you don't overfeed it, you'll get far more taste in this plant. They're doing a lot of research in Australia at the moment on the essential oils from this plant, and they get about 7% essential oil out of these leaves, which is what really does give you that zingy kick. Really easy, really simple. Vietnamese coriander. Once you've got one, you can take cuttings because all of your friends are going to want one, and it's quite difficult to find, but you will get it online. Thanks a lot for watching.